Hi, everybody. Good. And what a nice day to be in Chicago. To be in a winning city is always a pleasure. Everybody's so happy. It's really terrific. Yeah. I have a lot of people to thank. Amazing Donors Forum and the wonderful people you're about to meet who are the performance company of the Donors Forum. But I always forget when I'm thanking people. So I just wonder if you would take a second and thank the people at your table. Go ahead, say thank you. That way we'll just all be sure. It's nice to fill the ballroom. It's nice to fill the ballroom with gratitude. And if you don't like that word, maybe wishes or prayers or blessings or thanks. One of the most incredible creative processes I think about are using multiple words for the same kind of thing. So just in case you can't enter with the word prayer, you might be able to enter with the word best thoughts. And so we'll be experimenting with that as we work. Because it's true we'll be doing some moving, but you move with your brain and your beautiful imaginations, and they're going to be part of how this all works. Actually, I think one of the disasters of the fact that we don't do so much, say, folk dance anymore, is that we don't get to find that relationship between our minds and our bodies, our imaginations and our souls. And I can't promise you that today, but maybe a little bit. But one thing was, like, honestly, my whole orientation to art was, you're supposed to wake people up. Like, that's what I thought art did. It had not occurred to me, ever, except for the fact that I'm in a collaborative environment, I'm out of my shell, I'm not normally where I am, and I discover something about my profession, my art, my dream I would never have known. Now, the reason I did is what I call the soft rigor. I had an environment in that collaboration where the nurse knew she could talk to me. Like, we had built a relationship. So that's not nothing. You can't have collaborations without relationships. And it's not less than the policy or less important even than the budget. It's critical. And there are lots of soft rigors, and that knowledge is all over this room. And that's the kind of stuff about we're going to do in a minute that we get to practice, we get to think about, we get to raise up and make important. Here we go. Music, please. The little snow stone unturned. And it just all falls apart. Getting ready, there we go, we find that vision again. And go find your endings. And out, beautiful. Okay, so I know that time is short, and in real rehearsal, which actually, if there was any creative process I wish everybody could have in your organizations and your workers, rehearsals. Because rehearsals are, public moments where you purposely make mistakes and you fix them. It's a phenomenal thing, and you've been doing great. Fortunately, this particular piece of music begins with about 30 seconds where you can continue to think about things. And then when the melody comes in, we'll go. So we'll do this little thing and get yourself together, but maybe now in a more reflective place. You'll have quite a while before this thing begins. Okay, here comes the music. You can think about what's happening for you, what you found out. Prepare your body, your mind, your imagination. Slowly find your ending, find your endings. And the music's starting to come down, down, and you all get to take a real bow. Take a bow. So I'd like you to, again, whatever it is you said to each other that you were discovering, or however you think about this, if you can find more than one word to describe what happened to you, remember that idea, multiple words for the same thing, you'll have more places to file it in your memory, and you won't forget that it happened. Because sometimes when we try something like this, and it's sort of ethereal, you think in a week or so, did that happen? Like, did I actually do that? But if you put it in more than one place in your body and your imagination, you will remember and you'll find it. So I'm just going to leave you with, let's thank our amazing performers, and you guys both. And I'm just going to tell you one last story. The piece that's touring of mine right now is called Healing Wars. It has one last big run in La Jolla Playhouse in San Diego, if anybody wants to go in the fall. It's a beautiful place. We'll be there for a month. In this piece, the performers, they play nurses and doctors. They migrate between the Civil War and our current wars. And there's a vet in the piece who's very instrumental in helping us understand what's happening in our current conflicts. And I just wanted to leave you with something I've also learned, because now back to this idea about what collaborations teach us. So I've been spending quite a bit of time with veterans and talking to them and hearing their stories. And I think what they've been telling me helps me understand our world. So they really miss risk. You know, when they're over there, they are at risk, and they love it. In fact, the guy who's in our piece, Paul, he likes to go bear hunting, and he really disturbed our stage manager because he was late one day because he'd been off bear hunting. I said to the stage manager, "You're not going to change that. He loves risk. I think we do too. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here today. You wouldn't have just done what you did. I mean, we understand that risk is challenge, and people need it. Now, I know there are different kinds of risk, and I know the word means, and it even has some bad meaning in the context of, like, say, so-called children at risk, which is a horrible term. But thinking about what it means to take chances, very interesting, including physical ones. Secondly, they really miss purpose. When they're over there, they have a purpose when they're sleeping. They have a purpose when they're playing cards. They always have a purpose. And it's really hard to live your life in the United States without that. It's hard. And they come home and they don't have it. Makes me think about us. Like most of the people in this room have deep purpose. You are lucky. You are lucky. And that experience can really inform you as we work in this momentous times. And they really miss love. When they are over there, they don't serve because we have a policy about something in Iraq. No, they serve to protect each other. And when they come home, it's a really special kind of love. And again, I know that most of you, I know from my own running a nonprofit for all those years, there is a kind of love that just sustains it in really hard times. And again, we're lucky. We have it. So I sort of want to advocate to you that this risk, purpose, and love is like really important as we struggle with the momentous times we are in. I live in Baltimore. Momentous times of change, real change. Maybe we want to send our love to the people in South Carolina. Imagine that you're gathered in prayer, best wishes, gratitude, hopes, dreams, and an event like that takes place. Risk, purpose, love. Oh, and your imagination and your capacity to do what you just did. Thanks, everybody.
Someone at my table said, next year's Donors Forum lunch, you might have 200 people there or 2,000. I don't know. But can we, again, thank Liz Lerman for her fabulous, fabulous presentation. Many times during that experience, I had this sense of awe, quite frankly. Looking out, I had this sense of wonder. It was a tremendous collaboration. Quite frankly, we didn't know how you'd all respond. We thought there'd be a number of you, many of you, sitting on your hands like, I'm not doing that. But you did it, and you were engaged. You took a risk, and you were engaged. And so where do we go from here? How do we take this inspiration, how do we take this insight and this experience and start to collaborate more? I would suggest we need to get engaged. You all engaged, not only by being here, but you engage by participating, by doing it, by engaging in the exercise. So get engaged. I thank you so much for being here. If you're not a member of Donors Forum, what a way to get engaged. You join Donors Forum. Easy. And we may or may not be dancing, but I don't know, but get engaged. If you are a member of Donors Forum, which I know most of you are, we have so many opportunities for you to get engaged. So many opportunities, like I'll Give Big, for you to collaborate. We have 10 strategic initiatives that we're working on to focus on building that vibrant social impact sector. They're on our website. We ask and invite all of you to get engaged with our strategic initiatives, get engaged with this work so that we all can fulfill our missions and do our best work. Thank you again so much for being here today.